Okay, good afternoon, my dear grade 11 STEM students. So, welcome to Homeroom Guidance. We're going to discuss today Module 4, which is entitled Me and My Decisions. So, in the entire Remedios National High School, as well as the Division of Pampanga and other divisions, they are also having their homeroom guidance that is given by their advisors. So, in this part, we are going to have our learning objectives first before we proceed with the topic. So our learning objectives uh, are this one. Describe what makes a right or and a wrong decision or action. Next, demonstrate awareness on the indicators of committing right and wrong decisions. So it's about decisions. Appreciate appropriate response in dealing with right or wrong decisions. Of course, you're going to appreciate this one because it is about doing the right decision and identifying what is right and wrong. Okay, so let's have the introduction. We are what we make. Okay, do you believe in that? Our actions and decisions affect the way we live our life. So, if you decide to study despite the hardships during this pandemic, these decisions affect your daily activities, which may include household chores, di ba? The mere fact that you decide to, I want to enroll in this despite of pandemic. I want to continue my study. That is already a decision, and that is a one right decision. So it really impacts your daily life because you're doing your modules, at the same time, you're doing the household chores, so you have to manage your time very well. Next, because you chose to study, your daily life would now include accomplishing self-learning modules and communicating with your teachers like we are doing now, or classmates in various ways. So this is an illustration how your life becomes dependent to your decisions. So you are young adults. You are on uh, adolescent period already. So you have the right to make your own decision already because you know what is right or wrong. You can identify what is right or wrong. Okay, so any decision may affect your life. So you have to be careful in doing or in choosing your decisions that you're making. Okay, so this module will um, help you to identify how to make good decisions. Okay, so in your answer sheet, the first activity is let's try this. Okay, I want you to hold your answer sheet and I want you to read it as I guide you on how you're going to make this, on how are you going to make this activity. Okay, so the title of the activity is Myself Deciding Right and Wrong. So this activity, let's try this, is it's about you deciding the right or wrong decision. How do you describe yourself when you have committed the right decision? How about if you committed a wrong decision? So you are going to draw yourself. So the bond paper is divided into two boxes. On the left is you're going to draw yourself committing the right decision. And on the right box, on the right side of the box, you're going to draw yourself that when you committed the wrong decision. That is your first activity in our module. Okay, so after you have drawn your self when you committed the right decision and the wrong decision, you have to answer the processing questions. So in your answer sheet, you have the space provided. You have to answer each question. So let me just read the processing questions. You have to read it in. You have to answer it in a complete sentence. Okay. So English, we will use the English language in expressing your answers. So you have to write it in complete sentence. So number one, how do you compare the two images of yourself? So it is the question is referring to the images that you draw on the first bond paper. So you have to answer that in a few sentences. Okay, number two, did you have the same decision-making process for both situations? Explain an example for each. And number three, if you are to assess whatever decision you made in the past 2 months, where do you categorize them and why? So you have to Justify your answer whenever you write your answer. Okay, do you have any question about let's try this? Okay, now let's move on to let's explore this. This is another activity before we move on to the discussion proper. So remember more about your experiences in making right and wrong decisions. At the back of the same paper, explain the situations or where each image reflects. Make your answer in essay format guided by the following pointers. So I gave you you do not have to write at the back. I gave you spaces in each question. Okay, so you have to answer in essay format. So, but if you have a lot of answers, you may use the back portion. Okay. So these are the questions. What was running in your head when you were in that situation? What did you feel about the situation? What did you do about the situation? And how did your body react to the situation? So you have 4 questions and you're going to answer, you're going to express your answer in an essay type. Next, so the after answering those questions in an essay type manner, you're going to answer the processing questions. So, what insights do you get from both the experiences of making a right decision, right and a wrong decision? Number two, what changes did both decisions make in your life? And number three, if you are given a chance, would you still do the same decisions? Why or why not? So in the first part, you're going to make an essay. You're going to make essays. Uh, you're going to answer the questions by essay. But in this questions, in the next questions, the processing questions, you're going to answer the questions directly. So you don't have to write a lot of answers. 1 or 2 sentences will do. Okay. So let's move on with the keep in mind, which is the discussion proper of our module. So considering the many choices that we face each day, it is imperative to know relevant information to know how to better handle decision making. Although we differ in handling decision, we learn better by tracking back how others dealt with it and how they managed to handle it. So in a study by Competence and Quality in Real Life Decision Making by Martin Geisler, and Carl Martin Alwood, published on November 6, 2015, the researchers established the self-awareness or our ability to self-monitor and is associated with our capacity to make sound judgment. So in the same light, emotional intelligence supports the belief that our emotions affect our decision. So the ability to properly know the emotion in self and others have direct relationship in decision making. So moreover, time approach is a decision making competence. People tend to believe in right or wrong timing in dealing with decisions. There may be decisions made in rush but they come out right, but there are those that result in the negative. So hindi nila pinag-iisipan kung ano yung kanilang mga gagawin. Basta yung iba bara-bara lang, basta may gagawin or in the peak of their emotions, nagde-decision sila. Remember this, do not make decisions when you are angry. You do not make decisions when you are at the peak of your emotions. Why? Because always you are going to yield with the wrong decision. Kasi you are at the peak of your emotion, you are at the peak of your anger. Galit na galit ka. 'Di ba? So you have to calm down, isip 100 times, 1,000 times, relax ka muna bago ka makapag-desisyon. Okay? So, uh, saan ba tayo? There are maybe decisions, ayun. So, there are instances that the procrastination or delaying few things bring acceptable results. Yun yung sinabi ko sa inyo. You think hundreds of times before you make decision, depending on the timing of the decision making. The latter, however, should not be taken as a good example in all over other life undertakings. Pero depende rin, syempre, kung uh, in a matter of situation, life and death situation na, hindi ka pa ba magdidesisyon ora-orada. So, depende rin, okay? It depends upon the situation on how you're going to make decisions, if you're going to make decisions rapidly, or you're going to think about it, think before you make decisions. Okay? So, when do you know if you are about to commit the right or wrong decision? You don't know, right? Nobody knows better your situation except you. Hence, it would be helpful to look at the bigger picture and analyze the impact of your decisions. The following are just some ways that you can use as guides. So, number one, any decision-making process should come with facts. We don't decide based on impulse or feel or gut feel, most especially if the decision would mean a complete turnaround of your life. For example, your college course or curriculum exit. Have those helpful facts guide you on your next move. So since you are in the senior high school, you have to come up with your one of the biggest decisions that you're going to make in your life. That is, you're going to choose your course in your college life. That is a very big decision for you to make because it will impact or it will create a big impact in your life. Kasi kapag napili mo, hindi ko naman pala gusto to, gusto ko mag-shift. Paano kung di mo lahat pala gusto, yung ano mo, yung napili mo. And at the end, 30 years old ka na, nasa college ka pa. So, shift ka ng shift ng you have to make up your mind, choose what is the best college course kasi you have in this time you are getting ready for being an adult. So life does not end after graduating high school or after graduating college. It begins there. So doon pala nagsisimula ang totoong buhay kasi you are on your own. So tapos na ang responsibilidad ng parents mo sa iyo. All they have to do is to give you some advices and ikaw na ang gagawa ng sarili mong desisyon. At nasa sa'yo na yon kung maganda or you're going to make the right decisions or you're going to choose the wrong ones. Okay? So you have to come up with facts, magtanong-tanong ka, mag-research ka, ano ba talaga ang gusto mo, tingnan mo kung yung mga ibang kumuha na ng ganon, i-pattern mo kung pwede lang, kumuha ka ng advice, magtanong ka din sa mga nakakuha na dun sa course na yon or dun sa naka-experience ng the same situation mo. Okay? Next, number 2, weigh the pros and cons. If you choose this one, anong nangyayari? If you choose this one, anong mangyayari? May mga what if question tayo, di ba, sa utak natin. If you are dealing, let's have this example. May nagniligaw sa'yo and nagdadalawang isip ka pa. So, ito yung mga what ifs na papasok sa utak mo. What if sinagot ko na siya? Ano kaya mangyayari? Magiging masaya ba ako? Magiging masaya ba yung parents ko? Makaka-apekto kaya sa pag-aaral ko? What if hindi ko siya sinagot? That is the another situation. So, magiging masaya ba ako? Tataas kaya yung grade ko? O mabababa kaya yung grade ko? Ano kaya magiging impact nun? So, ang daming mga what ifs. So, you have to weigh the pros and cons. Parang chess lang yan eh. If you move a piece, you need to have a support. So, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung mga mangyayari pagkatapos ng move mo. Okay? So, let's have this example. In school, you are being trained to be responsible and accountable to your actions. You cannot blame anybody for your decisions except for some setup. The moment you said yes to indulge yourself with vices, you are embracing its consequences as well. Ito tungkol to sa bisyo. The same way when you resolve to yourself to finish study and have stable career in the future, you are up to face the challenges that come with it. So, ano ba? Inalok ka ng sigarilyo ng kaklase mo and then, ano yon? Kinuha mo para lang maging cool ka, para lang hindi ka mapahiya sa mga kaklase mo o sa mga kaibigan mo. Ano yung Are you ready with the consequences? Are you ready to face the consequences? What if nahuli ka ng teacher, edi na-guidance ka? What if hindi pala kaya ng katawan mo, edi nagkasakit ka? So, ang daming mga pwedeng mangyari. So, you have to weigh them. Okay? Timbangin mo kung ano yung dapat. So, it's a matter of decision making, choosing the right decisions talaga. Okay? Next, consult people if you must. Yun yung sinabi ko din sa number 1. If you have the same situations with the other people na ahead sa inyo or na experience na nila yung yung pinagdadaanan mo ngayon, you can ask for advice. Okay? So, two heads are better than one. Kahit dalawa, tatlo, basta yung maayos lang yung naging desisyon na. Pero syempre, pagka na-experience nila, sasabihin nila sa'yo kung ano yung mga mas mabuting gawin mo. Hindi naman nila sasabihin, huwag mong gawin yan. Hindi ka nila ipapariwara. So, kausapin mo yung mga taong mapagkakatiwalaan. So, you have to seek for advice if you need help. So, pwedeng yung teacher, yung parents, yung ate at kuya, pinsan, kaibigan, basta mapagkakatiwalaan. Okay? Next, own whatever decisions you make. May mga taong ganito, yung parang hindi nila mapanindigan yung kanilang mga decisions. So, you have to own your decisions. You have to be responsible. If you made your decision, stop blaming others if it hindi nag-turn good yung inyong decision. Kunwari, sa project, nagkaroon kayo ng pagtatalo ng mga groupmates mo. Tapos, it just so happen na yung sa'yo ang sinundan, mali pala. So, anong gagawin mo? Ituturo mo ba yung mga classmate mo? I-blame mo sila. Ikaw ang gumawa ng desisyon eh. You have to take the consequences. You have to, what do you call this? Stand for your own decision. Whatever it takes, kahit naging negative man yan or positive man yan, stop blaming others. Okay? Next, remember that you are a work in progress. So, habang buhay ka, marami ka pang darating na problema. So, hindi maiiwasan na marami kang mako-commit na mistake. You're going to make a mistake. Yes, because we are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's why it's okay to make a mistake. What is important is how are you going to make up with your mistakes. Okay? So, you have to weigh the pros and cons. You have to make the wrong decisions right. Stop blaming yourself. After that, after you have committed the wrong decision or the mistake, you have to make out and then make the right decision or rate the right ones so that you will be mature and accept that you made a mistake. Okay? So now let's move on to the other activity, which is entitled You Can Do It. So you're going to write, there is a space there in your answer sheet wherein you're going to write a narration on a decision you made. Ikukwento nyo ha, yung mga decision, yung isang decision na ginawa ninyo dun sa nakaraan ninyo that you made the wrong decision. Okay? Yung nagkamali kayo. And then imagine how it would change if you apply all or any of the ways discussed in the previous part of the module. What could have happened if the course of action was different? So may space dyan na isusulat nyo yung narration ninyo. Ikukwento nyo kung ano yung ginawa nyo na mali. Next, another activity is what I have learned. How will you improve your decision making? So write at least 5 things that you certainly apply in yourself. Okay, on the last activity is share your thoughts and feelings, completing the sentence lang. A right decision for me is, it is okay to commit a wrong decision as long as you have to complete the sentences lang. Tatlo lang yan. So, may mga spaces dyan. Bahala kayo kung ano yung isusulat nyo dyan. Okay? So, any questions?